I would like to briefly present some challenges for small languages and what we see in Latvia and in many other parts of the world, where is a tough language competition, small languages face competition from big one. And today there are about 6,900 languages on this planet, but some language dies every 2 weeks. And a long time ago, actually, back in the 90s, I had an opportunity to ask a famous American futurologist who predicts future, Alvin Toffler. You maybe have heard about his book, The Third Wave Society, about what does he think about future of smaller languages. And he picked that question very fast and said, "Oh, you're asking, will everything will be in English or Chinese?" And he believed that the future of smaller languages depends on the development of machine translation. What will be faster, this process of language dying or development of language technologies? And we see that it happens in reality, and we can see those processes for our language, Latvian language as well. Also, this language is in much better situation than most of those 6,900 other languages. Latvian, we're only about 1.6 million native Latvian language speakers, and during the last centuries we had faced a tough competition from the force of German language, which was official language a few 100 years ago. Then Russian language had a very big influence in political life, and nowadays it's English, as in many parts of the world. Still, before joining the European Union, where some politicians speculated that this will mean the rapid end of Latvian language, but in reality it's quite opposite. Latvian language is official language of the European Union, and a lot of texts have been translated by DGT, and big support has been provided by those community-supported technological development programs. Still, basic language resource kit, that was like a set of basic resources that would be needed for every languages, and defined by Stephen Crower and his colleagues. It's not yet completed for Latvian. We still miss a number of important language resources like speech resources or WordNets. If you look at machine translation, it's particularly challenging for Latvian language because we have a morphologically very rich language with many inflectional forms, and some time ago we collected a database of all possible word forms in contemporary Latvian from different sources, and this database consists of 23 million words. So you can imagine how huge parallel texts you would need to cover all that diversity of 23 million word forms. Still, if you look at the language technology landscape in Latvia, we have locally developed language technology tools have been widely used, like tools developed by our company. Spelling checkers and translation tools have been used by more than 500,000 desktops in around Baltic countries. And in recent years have been like consolidation of different activities to foster development of our language, like Latvian National Corpus initiative, where major institutions from industry, academia, and member institutions joined their forces, actually with ultimate vision to collect in that corpus everything that's ever have been published in any form, in digital or printed form, in Latvian language, and make it available on that corpus. Also, industry players and researchers currently establish a cluster of developing language technologies and joining those competences. And the Language Shore initiative have been launched by the President of Latvia a year ago with a mission to create a cooperation structure that integrates skills of professionals in education, research, and industry sectors, first at Latvian level, then on Baltic Sea regional level, and then involve players in other countries, especially in post-Soviet countries and Central Asian republics, and to consolidate those resources and activities to achieve critical mass for providing efficient research and development for smaller languages. And like some practical proof of the consolidating power of competences across Europe is with European projects. And I presented you this Let's MT project targeted on gathering, targeted on getting data stored on users' computers on this online platform, but also a few other projects have recently started, like Accurate project and TTC project, exploring new approaches how to use comparable texts that are not direct translations, but are about the same topic, about the same theme, carrying overlapping sentences or phrases, how to get those matching sentences and phrases out of those multilingual comparable corpora to, again, advance development of smaller languages and Latvian and other smaller languages. And actually, referring back to that question about MetaShare, we also submitted the project proposal, call it MetaNord, for this recently ended call for proposals in ICT PSP program for Objective 6.1 to create open linguistic infrastructure, also involving partners from all Nordic countries and Baltic countries on collaborative activities in creating that open linguistic infrastructure and providing language resources for advancing smaller languages. So I strongly believe that small languages deserve to have big solutions. And